the point in life is because in our lives we come across many such occasions where we make impact on others and other people make impact on us. And the lesson I draw from my association with Anil, Mahesh and from this concept of point of life is all of us in this room or all of us who are listening to this could become good points in the lives of others. We can make a difference in the lives of others by doing the right kind of things and good things that probably help them to establish themselves, to change their careers, maybe as a coach, maybe as a teacher, maybe as a student, maybe as a co-learner and so on. This is the first part of my speech, but the second part of the speech is the most important one. I wanted to title this speech as Institutionalizing Service Ethos. First of all, what is service ethos? Service ethos means servicing the customer without thinking too much about what caste he belongs, what community he belongs, what kind of a background he belongs, irrespective of where the person comes from, what color he is, what is the kind of a background. You devote totally yourself to make the customer happy by providing integrated quality services on time. This is a very important kind of a concept of a service ethos. So service ethos requires respect for the other person. Service ethos requires compassion, requires empathy, perseverance and willingness to go at any length and a positive attitude. And of course, above all of it, you should have a positive respect for your own product which you are selling or the service you offer. Now, if you have all this, you are equipped, you become very powerful. You are powerful because you believe in the product you are selling or the service you are offering. You are powerful because you are concerned about the customer. So you go at any length to service that. So service ethos is this. Unfortunately, while technology has helped us in many ways to do many good things by providing services at the doorstep of our consumers or customers in India, our own attitudes have not fully supported it. Wherever there is a human interface, we have a long way to go in terms of servicing our customers and creating a service ethos. Now, what do I mean by this human interface? I don't want to say everything that we do is bad. There are many things that we do are good. There are many people who are very good in terms of creating a service ethos and servicing the customers and so on. But I think there are occasions where we seem to fault. It's not our fault, but it may be the design fault, it may be the culture's fault, it may be the kind of an orientation we have. I think we need to look at all these kind of things. Now I'll give you a few illustrations about this. Any product nowadays you buy, it may be a refrigerator, it may be a washing machine, it may be a television or anything like that. You normally go to a shop and the salesperson there explains to you all details. And more than the details that you want, the salesperson explains. And you are impressed with the sale and you finally purchase and you go to the accountant and you pay by your credit card or whatever it is. Now the work of the salesperson is over. Then sometimes, not always, but sometimes your ordeal begins. And in fact, my experience is most of the time. The salesperson says, "Thank you very much, sir. Please visit us again." Then I ask the question, "Okay, I'll visit you again. I hope I don't have to. But this particular product, but when am I going to get this product?" See, normally, sir, delivery takes about a couple of days, but in your case, we will try and see it can be delivered tomorrow. And I said, "What do you mean? I thought you should be able to deliver it today." "No, I will try, sir." And you go back and then the product doesn't come today, it doesn't come tomorrow. Tomorrow evening you call up the shop, he says, "I'm sorry, sir, I'll check that and tell you, or I will find out." Then a day later you discover the people who deliver the particular product are different. And when you connect to the delivery person, he says that, "Look, the store is managed by somebody else. It's a warehouse and unless he gets the order, he just got the order yesterday evening and it will be delivered to you." So 2 or 3 days later, the product comes to your house, the delivery man delivers it, a big packet is lying in your house. And then you ask him that, "Why don't you open it?" He says, "Sorry, sir, my job is only to deliver. Somebody else will come, a technician will come and open it and deliver it to you and show it to you." So you have to wait for another day, you have to keep chasing. Sometimes the delivery man may give you the address of the technician, otherwise you have to call the salesperson again. And when finally the technician comes, God save you, if the machine is in order, it's fine. If a part is missing, if something is broken, then you have an ordeal, because the people who replace the parts are different. So we have outsourced every service to so many people in our effort to economize so many things. And what we have done is we made the life of the customer miserable. So this is where unknowingly our service ethos have become not so positive. I want to give an interesting example of how service ethos were different. I have experienced this very interesting thing once when we went to Paris. I was traveling with my wife and daughter, and it was for a UNESCO workshop. After the workshop was over, we were trying to take the metro train from somewhere near a station near Eiffel Tower to De Gaulle Airport, and somebody came and distracted our attention and ran away with our briefcase. The briefcase had my passport, which included visas and so on, and insurance papers, a camera, and all my cash, and I was practically left penniless. Immediately I went to the nearby police station, and the police people took all the details, and they alerted other police, but they could never get back the briefcase, and put me in touch with the Indian embassy. And that was a Saturday, and therefore I have except a few clothes to wear. I absolutely had nothing, and we were checked out of the hotel, we had no money to pay. So somebody in the embassy invited us to his house, and he said, only the problem is, sir, I just came yesterday, I am in a flat with bare furniture, no curtains and so on, and it is a cold winter in the month of November. So you'll have to bear with me, and this is a weekend, it's only on a Monday we can give you a passport. So chap was nice enough, we went to his house, spent 2 days, torturous 2 days, in a very cold season, in a house which was not heated at all. But on Monday morning we went to the embassy. The embassy people were very nice. In the meantime, my daughter sent a copy of the passport, faxed the copy of the passport, and within, I think, by about 3:30 or so, they have issued me the passport. Not only they issued the passport, the embassy person called up the British embassy and requested them that I will be coming there shortly, and then they could issue the visa and so on. In the meantime, Commonwealth Secretariat, I needed the visa because I came from London. I was working as a HR consultant for Commonwealth Secretariat, IDS Sussex. And the Commonwealth Secretariat people also faxed. And the British embassy waited for 1 hour even after the office hours are over, made sure that I got my visa, and made sure I was going with a letter from them to the airport, picked up the plane there and reached back in London and so on. And that's a wonderful experience that I have had. Now you can see these are all different agencies that were involved, and they serviced the customer who is in trouble, and made you feel that they really care for you, starting with the Indian embassy, with the British embassy, with Commonwealth Secretariat and so on. Not only that, the story doesn't end there. A few days later, somebody suggested to me, why don't you claim your insurance? And then I said that I have no papers to claim the insurance. When this person said, no, but you talked to the travel agent who issued your insurance paper, who happened to be in London. Then I called the number, the insurance papers. The agent said, I'm very sorry to learn this from you, Professor Rao. I'll fax you a duplicate copy I have of the insurance papers. I'm actually going to get it from the insurance company. I'll get it for you. I'll not only fax these papers, I'll also fax a claim form. You'll have to submit the claim form to a separate agency, because the agency that settles your claims is different than the insurance company. So you fill in the form and send it to the claims agency. So he explained all details. I got the form, I filled the claims form, and I sent it to the claims agency, and within about 24 hours I get a call from the claims agency. We're very sorry to know you lost your things. Now please, you have listed these things. Now tell me, first thing you have said camera. What is the value of the camera? I give some approximate value. Can you give me the receipts? I say, sorry sir, the receipts are all in India. Even that I am not very sure, because this was bought almost about 6 years ago from Singapore. It is Ashika FX3. I don't even remember the model. Okay, how much cash did you lose? Then I tell him the cash. Can you give me any evidence of it? Well, all the only evidence I can give is the sheet of paper from Midland Bank which tells how much I have withdrawn. He said, okay, if you can fax it to me, that will be very nice. Any other details? I said, I can give no other details. You decide. I am not very sure if you really will be able to settle anything because I am not able to give you any receipts and things like that. So I think that is what it is. So after about a week, the person calls me and says, I have settled your amount, gentlemen. I am only sorry, you have claimed for some 500 pounds, but I am only able to settle about 80% of it because in the absence of receipts, I am afraid you have to be satisfied with whatever you got. I mean, this is such a wonderful kind of a thing that has a whole kind of an experience because everyone was trying to help you. Now, mind you, these are all different agencies. The agent who gave me the travel insurance is different. The agency insurance agency is different. The claims agency is different. The final settlement agency is different. But all of them work like a united kind of a one agency and took care of it. Now here we have, in many cases, back in our country, we have so many agencies. Everyone has his or her own kind of targets. So this excessive target orientation in our country by the outsourced agencies seem to be creating and preventing the so-called customer delight, or not helping us to move towards customer ethos. So if you have to have good customer ethos, you will have to treat the customer as a whole and the service provided as an integrated whole, and not merely say my job is over once somebody has purchased a product and my job is only to pass the delivery order to the delivery man. No, I think your job is everything. Until the time I think the product is delivered and the customer is happy and things like that. So I think one of the factors that is preventing us from inculcating the service ethos is this excessive target orientation, short-term goal orientation, and not using soft parameters like customer delight. I think the kind of the image that you have and things like that as a part of your customer services and so on. So it is very, very important if we have to create customer ethos. Now, can we institutionalize customer ethos? I think it is possible to institutionalize. First, I think you should articulate your vision. And the vision has certainly got to be, besides in terms of the profits and so on, it has got to be in terms of the final people whom you want to serve. So the vision has got to be, like in the case of National HRD Network, we defined our vision as serving the HRD professionals, lifting up the profession, equipping them with competencies. And we define HR not only as people who work in corporate sector, we define HR as people who work in government, who work in NGOs, who work in villages, in districts and so on. So I think all people who matter in developing other people as HR agents. And I think that is the way. And you need to be constantly reminding people that whatever little work that you are doing, ultimately you are helping somebody. So the little nut and bolt that you are manufacturing here is meant to help somebody to transport himself or herself from one place to other. If you don't do it properly, car may break down and may create. Or for a newspaper fellow, the little information that you are giving is going to change the lives of somebody else and things like that. I think it's very important that we constantly inculcate in the minds of the people the vision of the company and remind people about the larger goals for which they are working. Uday Parikh formulated a term called extension motivation. Peters and Waterman talked of the 7S theory, in which superordinate goals are the ones which make a hell of a lot of difference. Besides structure, system, style, skills and things like that, superordinate goals make a lot of difference, and inculcating the spirit of customer orientation, customer ethos and so on. So therefore, in order to institutionalize customer ethos, organizations should work for creating a customer-centric culture, creating an empathetic culture. If you don't treat your employees in an empathetic way, if your HR policies do not promote such kind of an empathy and treat a human being in an integrated way, the employees are not likely to treat the customers in an integrated way, they are not likely to go an extra mile in terms of creating the so-called ethos. So if you have to have service ethos, you should demonstrate in terms of the way your own service functions, whether it is HR or it is finance and accounts, and or it is your health center, whatever centers you have which are meant to serve your employees, the way they are likely to treat in an integrated way the employees will in turn help employees to treat the customer in an integrated way. And of course, you need to be constantly communicating. You should use surveys, certainly in terms of employee engagement surveys, to create service sense in employees. Same way, I think customer satisfaction surveys, patient satisfaction surveys, and so many of these. It's not just conducting surveys, it is acting on them and giving feedback to the customers that goes a long way in creating and institutionalizing service ethos. I normally say that a good example of creating an excellent institutionalized service ethos is the institute in which I have worked, the Indian Institute of Management at Ahmedabad. I began my career in 1973, and even today I think IIM culture is a very collegiate culture. We are proud to say that it's a peer culture. Every professor is known as simply a professor, whether he is assistant or associate or senior professor, we don't make any difference. It's all professors. And if you are to take a class on a particular day, you are bound to be there on that particular day and take your session. Once the schedule comes, you need not again be reminded. There are absolutely no reminders. You are there. And your academic associates for the last 55 years just make sure that the cases are given to students on time and assignments are given to students on time. They are corrected, they are fed back on time, and so on. So everything goes according to a clock. And this is the kind of a service ethos. The ethos is so much you don't even feel that. I don't mean to say everything is so perfect in a place like IIM. I think there are always ups and downs and so on. But I think this is the way you create that service ethos. Now this is the kind of ethos that got created in Taj Group of Hotels. And V S Mahesh gets a lot of credit for this, because the 10 years that he has worked between I suppose 1981-82 and 1991-92, those 10 years he has done a lot of training programs. He impacted, and his philosophy of looking at human being in a very positive way is what is reflected in his book on Thresholds of Motivation. It's a wonderful book. You must read this book. I think it's filled with positive thinking and a positive view of human beings. It is V S Mahesh work in Taj Group of Hotels, in my view, that laid foundation for the way Taj Group staff behaved on 26/11. Many people talk about the Tata culture. I think the credit goes for people like him, who has done a lot, and this is what is ethos of service, or service ethos. If Taj Group can do it, if IIM Ahmedabad can do it, why can't you and I in our own kind of companies do it? Soil can do it in its own way by running itself as an exemplary kind of an institution. All of us who come from service institutions can say, and each and every person at the field level should be able to perceive the larger purpose that he or she is serving. And that is what requires continuous communication, making the person a part of the vision, introducing systems, and doing a hell of a lot of things. So I think it is possible to create institutional and create an institutionalized service ethos. And we have a number of lessons to learn from people like Mahesh. I would strongly recommend you to read some of the articles he has written. And it's very unfortunate he died much earlier than what one has expected. I wish he lived longer so that he could have contributed a lot to all of us in terms of inculcating the so-called service ethos in our institutions. So thank you very much to people at Soil and all of you who are listening to me, for listening to this particular kind of a lecture. And I wish you all the best, and I hope you will take the message and create an integrated view of life and help creating service ethos in your own organization.